Do you like horror? Do you like the 80s? Do you like horror in the 80s? Then you'll love In Search of Darkness. It's a 4-hour plus epic retrospective on 80s horror. This critically acclaimed documentary features an incredible lineup of horror legends, including John Carpenter, Doug Bradley, Tom Atkins, even Elvira, Corey Taylor, and of course, Lloyd Kaufman. Oh, and there's even an interview with this one nerd, James. I think The Shining is probably the best performance in any horror film, maybe ever.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
Click the link in the description to pre-order your copy today, and you can get your name in the credits, along with a poster, pin, postcard, and digital download of the film. But act fast because it's only available until midnight, the witching hour on Halloween. Devil's Rejects. This is another repeat that I talked about the first Monster Madness way back, but it's definitely worth bringing up again, especially now that there's going to be another sequel. Well, it's okay. It's been out. It's been out by the time you see this.
Yeah,
but, Three from Hell is the new one. Devil's Rejects is a sequel to House of Thousand Corpses, but really, it's a different movie. It's a totally different movie. I would say you don't need to see that. Just go right into Devil's Rejects. Have not yet seen Three from Hell at the time we're recording this, but this is my favorite Rob Zombie movie by far.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen Halloween, and I've seen this, and I like this better than Halloween, but man, I don't like any of these characters. Like, I wanted them to die the entire time I saw this movie.
They're horrible, horrible characters.
Yeah, there's just nothing likable about them at all.
It's weird because there is some dark comedy in this. So no, I would say there's nothing likable about them for sure. I mean, they're serial killers, but they have moments where they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
There's like moments where you laugh at it because, you know, it's just a movie. So the plot of the movie, in a nutshell, there's not much to it. There's 3 serial killers who are going around killing people for no reason either.
No.
They're just they're just going around to just...
They're just sadistic, basically.
Yeah, they're just fucked up people, played by Sid Haig, Sherry Moon, and Bill Moseley. House of Thousand Corpses is its own thing. It's just music video, crazy colors, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre influences. Like House of Thousand Corpses is just nuts. This one actually has like a method to the madness. So they're going around, they're killing people, and they don't just kill them, they like verbally insult them, they humiliate them, they torture them, they're just like horrible, horrible people. But what makes it more disturbing is that they all are so aware of it. Like when you have one serial killer in a movie, it's like, okay, well that person is like completely fucked up in the head. But when you see 3 of them who are all very different from each other, but they all share the same thing by killing each other, and none of them is bothered by it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which Rob Zombie is very much influenced by, was like the first movie to really show us, or the first major movie that I could think of that showed us a family of psychopaths.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like that, where you see them sharing a bond, and it makes it even more disturbing because in their circle, it's okay to kill people. It's just like, wow, these people are so messed up.
I think if anything, Captain Spaulding is probably the least evil out of them. I know he's like pretty messed up, but he
the least evil. Yeah,
he only knocks out the mom that he steals the car from.
Yeah,
he doesn't kill her.
Which, I mean, it's like, this is where the dark comedy comes in, where like he punches out a mom right in front of the kid, and he's in his clown makeup and everything, and he comes in and he's like, "Hey kid, don't you like clowns? Ain't we fucking funny?
Yeah.
Aren't we fucking funny?"
Like, and then threatens him and says, "I'm gonna kill your whole fucking family." Like, he at least had the courtesy to not kill the kid, to let him go.
Yeah, he made the kid like leave.
Yeah, but it's so fucked up. But like, those are parts in the movie where it's like, it's borderline like, this is really messed up, but it's also kind of like funny the way it's presented. Like, there's the scene where they all go for ice cream.
Yeah.
And there's the line that
Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity. It's like, okay, I guess serial killers eat ice cream too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like these like little moments to like humanize them just makes it like more disturbing. The line that always sticks with me in that scene is where he says, "There's no ice cream in your future." Like, it's such a funny way to phrase it. And like, I've adopted that into my speech a lot of times, where I always say like, there's none of, you know, that fill in the blank in your future. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, it's a quotable movie. Like, it's just full of quotes.
No, I mean, the thing is, like, with the dark comedy and everything and the way they act, as opposed to when we watched M, where there's really nothing funny about that movie. There's a few, like, there are like scenes that are somewhat like, you know, meant as comedy, like the guy popping out of the floor and getting caught by the police. But in this, as opposed to M, where the murderer in M doesn't want to kill, but he just has to. These people want to kill. Like the Devil's Rejects, like, they are not compelled. They just love doing it, and that's what's kind of scary about them. Is you don't feel sympathy for them. In fact, like, so every once in a while, there's scenes where you can kind of chuckle at them or chuckle at things they say. Captain Spaulding had me laughing when he gets up from bed next to the woman, and he's just got like shit-stained underwear and stuff like that. Like, it's so gross. But but like, they are people that you just want to see get punished throughout the film.
Let's get to that. Before we get to that, though, let's mention a few more of the funny moments. Like, there's the Johnny Cash guy. Okay, there's a guy. Yeah. There's a guy who his claim to fame is that he shook Johnny Cash's hand once. You only see him in a few scenes, but he mentions the Johnny Cash thing more than once, and everybody has done that before. Everybody knows somebody who has a story that they always tell over and over again. You know, I probably mentioned, like, I was at a Metallica concert and caught Kirk Hammett's guitar pick. Like, that's probably mine, where I always say that. So this guy, he once shook Johnny Cash's hand, and he always brings it up. And then he brings it up to the girl, I think her name's Baby, played by Sherry Moon Zombie, and her reaction to it is just like, "Oh, I bet the girls want to fuck you." Yeah. And then this guy is just like, blows his mind that she said that, and then
he's like, "Say that again." Like, he keeps asking her to say it, like, he can't believe that she's just all over him, kind of.
Would you say that again?
Exactly, cannot believe it. And he's like, "Did you kiss your mom with that mouth?" And she's like, "That's not the only thing I kiss with this mouth." And then he's just like got his hand over his face, like, "Oh my God." And then you know what's going to happen, is that she's going to lure him into the hotel, and then she's going to torture him, and all this stuff, bad stuff is going to happen. And then it leads to a really disturbing, like, torture type scene. But that moment of, like, where she exploited that, like, weakness of his, it was kind of peppered with humor. And then there's the chicken fucking conversation where I think he buys the chicken. We never know for sure what he buys the chicken for. Maybe it was for chicken fucking.
I mean, and that's why he got so offended by it.
Yeah, because it was true. Exactly. Exactly. And the way he has to describe it in detail, and it's so sick and disgusting. Like, cut the chicken's head off, and then
stick your dick up that chicken's ass, and it'll go blah, or whatever. It was like, ugh.
And then Ken Foree, who from Dawn of the Dead, who plays the character who's buying it.
Keenan and Kel from the dad, Keenan's dad.
He plays it with the straight face, where he's like acting completely shocked that he asked that when he's like buying it for like his friend or whatever, I forget. He basically just like puts on a face where he's like you're asking me if I'm buying this to fuck a chicken, and like that they're, and the guy's like, "Look, I'm not like, saying anything against it. I'm just
and he's like, "You think I would fuck a chicken?" He's like, "Well, no, but your friend looks like the kind of guy. He looks sexually frustrated."
And then the longer it goes on, the longer they dwell on it, the more awkward it gets.
Oh, and the friend is the dude from what's it called too? The Hills Have Eyes.
That's the he's in a lot of stuff, but very recognizable. I'm trying to think of what else he was in. Joe Bob had him on the last drive-in. He was
cool.
He seemed like a real cool guy. And there's the other line, a really quotable line I remember, where when they first meet the Ken Foree character, and they're like old buddies, and they just start like reconnecting, and then he says a quote. He's like, "No sense standing around like stonefoot roosters in a fuck farm." And they all scream it at the same time. Like, this is something they've said a lot.
They say all the time.
Stonefoot roosters in a fuck farm.
And it's such a specific line that I've never heard anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's their thing. We got to get to the next character, the sheriff.
Yeah.
Played by William Forsythe. The sheriff character is trying to avenge the death of his brother.
Yeah.
They killed his brother. So he's the closest you get to a good guy in this. Mm-hmm. However, he starts torturing the killers. And at first you're kind of just like, okay, like these people have tortured.
Give it to him.
Yeah, give it to him. Like they tortured so many people the whole movie. It's like, let's see him get tortured. But then there's actually a line where then it starts to cross it where, oh my gosh, this sheriff is just as psychopathic as them. And then you're kind of like, you know, I mean, you never sympathize with them, but you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think that was enough. I think they might have learned their lesson now. Maybe optimistically they'll lead a different life now. They'll change. But it's kind of like you just want to see them like learn some kind of lesson. But then he goes so far with it, you start to like want to see the killers get loose again. And it's like, I got to a point where I'm just like questioning, like, what kind of justice do I want of these people? Like, what exactly would be the correct justice? You know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, it kind of like, only the best type of movies make you think that way. They make you debate in your head. Like, they give you something to think about long after the movie's over.
Mm-hmm. With me, I wanted them so dead. I was so into what he was doing to them. I was like happy. Like I was like good. Like
you never got to a line?
I never liked them the entire movie.
But did you like the sheriff? I mean,
no, I love the sheriff. I actually
really,
when he killed the mom first, and then he was showing them the pictures and everything, and how he's like stapling the pictures to them and stuff, and he hammers the nails in their hands. I loved every minute of that scene.
But is that not sick and fucked up too?
It was, but it was something that it's almost, I felt like it was necessary. Like this guy was so driven by vengeance, and he understood like, look, he was a cop, but he's not a cop right now. He's like, these people need to be put down, and they need to be put down in the worst possible way because they're doing it they're going to just keep doing it. And I guess they're going to keep doing it in another sequel.
But he's also taking joy of that too.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing it just for justice. He's doing it for like his own pleasure. Like he's laughing at right in their face.
I guess like the horrors he was put through
like,
though, you know, like he had to see all those people in the hotel room, his brother, all these other countless things. He found the house that they were in, saw what they did to countless other people. Also, he hires those bounty hunters played by Danny Trejo and Diamond Dallas Page, which was pretty awesome seeing DDP in this movie because they were great too. Like they were just funny characters. I liked them a lot better than I liked any of the Devil's Rejects, except for like Captain Spaulding, who really throughout the movie I don't think he killed anyone. Like, did he?
I can't remember. But like you said, he was the least evil. But that's what type of movie this is. It's just what's the lesser evil in this movie.
He seems more together than they are. Like the other two seem just psycho, and he seems kind of like.
But they're all psycho, and I think the sheriff's a psycho too. Like he's stapling shit to him. Like I think it's just as fucked up.
Nah, I liked it. I wanted them dead. I was so disappointed.
I mean, I did
that
too, but then it went so far with it.
Yeah, he shouldn't have tried to burn the house down. He should have just ended it. He should have just put him out, and he didn't. And he made the ultimate mistake because he ends up getting it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you haven't seen it, like definitely watch this movie. It's jarring and it's disturbing. This is probably one of the most disturbing movies I've seen in a long time. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of but movies like this where it's just this killing, like senseless killing and stuff, is really upsetting because there's nothing supernatural about it. This is just. And there's people probably in the world that are like these three individuals, and that's a really scary thought to think about, you know? But this movie is, it's not subtle in the slightest. Like, M was, foreshadowed and alluded and used metaphors and visual cues to tell you what's going on. This movie shoves that shit up your ass, pretty much. Like, it's like dead things, naked people constantly, like it's just.
And that's what Rob Zombie does. Like that's what his movies are all. But I think a lot of them, it's just like, okay, like fine, we get it. Like it's just exploitive gore. This one, I think it kind of has like a purpose. Like this is the only one where I kind of feel like he does it in a different way. Like there's something different about Devil's Rejects I've not seen in any of his other movies. Three from Hell, I'm gonna check out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a look at that too.
Yeah. But I think like the characters are the best thing about it, that he's just able to like invent these fucked up characters and like, and there's like, I mean, they're just every person. This whole movie is every main character is all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like now, at least Three from Hell has the advantage where the characters are established now. So let's see where else he can take them.
To be honest, not just the characters are fucked up in this movie. Everything in this movie is fucked up. Like everything just looks gross and dirty and run down. Every little detail. There's so many details. Like even just the shit on Captain Spaulding's underwear. That was a detail that they put in willingly. Like you know, everything is like every scene is just. It looks like this hot, gross 1970s summer in the South.
Even like the gas station in House of Thousand Corpses, it says gas and food like right next to each other, and like you don't want to think. I mean, you get gas and food from the same place, but the way they put them together on the sign puts like a mental image in your head of like gas and food like together, and you're just like, that just doesn't.
Gross.
So there is like that attention to detail that he gets from his movies, and. You know, a lot, like I think, you know, his films have their ups and downs, you know, but, you know, I think this one, his strengths are on full display here.
And by me not liking these three characters doesn't mean I didn't like the movie or wasn't entertained by the film. Honestly, like I love the movie. It made you, it gives you like feelings. It's disturbing and upsetting, and it's not, you know, a lot of movies you can watch, horror movies, and it's just kind of popcorn stuff. This is something I don't recommend popcorn with.
Yeah, even Phil Mosley said like that it was really uncomfortable when they were filming. Like
I can imagine.
Like, but I mean, like at the same time, I mean, he had to have fun saying a line like, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work."
Yeah, that was one scene I will say I liked, was when he's standing over the guy and he's like, "Pray, because I want God to strike me down. I want fucking lightning to hit me." Like, and it's like you're sitting there and it's just this hopeless. That's the thing. It makes you feel hopeless the entire time because they run the show. Yeah. There's nothing you can do. These guys are going to fucking kill you. You're not going to get out of it. Like they are. I wouldn't want to run into these three, let me tell you.
Yeah. Or else if you do, the next words out of your mouth better be some beautiful Mark Twain shit because it's getting etched on your fucking tombstone. The dialogue in this is fucking great.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. The devil rejected me. That's why I'm here. Hey, I just saw Three from Hell. As we mentioned somewhere in the Devil's Rejects review, I think it was that we recorded the review before the movie came out. Well, I think it was very confusing because the movie only came out in like a few theaters here and there on only a few specific nights, but it's out on VOD now. I just watched it real quick. And another thing that happened after we had recorded the Devil's Rejects review was that Sid Haig has passed away, unfortunately. Really sad to see him go. But man, what a long career. I mean, he was in the original 66 Batman. He was in all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's really sad. And he appeared at a lot of conventions. I saw him a lot of times, and a lot of the New Jersey conventions like Monster Mania, Chiller, Fangoria. Really cool guy who was really funny and really awesome with the fans and everything. So anyway, rest in peace, Sid Haig. He was really, really good in Three from Hell, although he was only in one small part. And that's what I want to say. If you were expecting him to be a larger part in this, just to let you know, this is not a spoiler. This is just a heads up that he is very... little of him is in the movie, so it's expected. I think that I can understand because he was probably not in the best health. I don't know for a fact if that was the reason. That's just my guess, because I think otherwise they would have probably made him a bigger part of it. Before this, I only saw a brief trailer, a very short trailer. He was in the trailer, but that scene of him is the only one that's in the movie. So anyway, he was the best part. I mean, the one moment he is on screen, he is phenomenal. So it's kind of sad. But like I said, great run. He had a long career. And this kind of was like a good send-off for him, actually, I think, because there's no way they could have known that this was going to be his last movie, or at least the last movie to come out, while he's alive. Or I don't know, I actually forget which happened first now, because like I said, the release of this movie was kind of fuzzy. Anyway, his replacement, because the 3 from Hell is... it does not include Captain Spaulding. It's really this new guy who is Otis's half-brother, named Foxy. The character's name's Foxy. The actor, Richard Brake, you may have seen him in Batman Begins. He was Joe Chill, the guy who shoots Bruce Wayne's parents. He was also in a lot of Rob Zombie movies like 31 and Halloween 2. He's a great actor. He does a good job playing these psychotic characters. He did a good job in this movie, but he was no Sid Haig for sure. I mean, that's the problem with this movie, was that there wasn't really any major side characters like Devil's Rejects. We mentioned had the sheriff and the pimp and all these memorable characters, but this one there wasn't really that much else. The chemistry between the 3 psychopaths, they don't, it's not the same. All the stuff that was in Devil's Rejects is not really on full display here. Like the Tutti Fruttis and the chicken fucking and all that like hilarious stuff. There isn't really much of this in this movie. There's nothing that really sticks with me. I don't think this is going to go down as a memorable film the way Devil's Rejects did. And to begin with, it doesn't have... the expectation, I mean, there was no point of this movie really existing, but I was glad also to see these characters one more time. So it was kind of just like a little gift. It was like a pleasant surprise, like, oh wow, I never thought they would have made another one, and now there's a trilogy, and we can debate on what was better, and I think it might be better than House of Thousand Corpses, but nowhere near as good as Devil's Rejects. Didn't have any major problems with it. It was just, I think it was okay. I think the beginning was the best, and then it kind of went downhill. I think it would have been great as a courtroom drama of the killers on trial, because that little bit in the beginning was so good. I think it began with a lot of promise, but then it kind of turned into more of the same, but not as good, So I wish I could give it more of a glowing review, and maybe it will grow on me as time goes on. I just saw it minutes ago. Also, the last thing I wanted to mention was that they make extensive use of a movie ranch, which is supposed to look like a Mexican town. I know exactly where that is because I filmed there for the Nerd movie. There is a final battle scene that takes place in 3 from Hell, and that exact spot where they are is the spot where we drove the van through all the fruit stands and everything. So that little stretch of road that leads up to the church, like that is where we filmed, and that is where a lot of movies filmed, but I've never seen it used so extensively as here. So it's kind of funny when you're watching something like that and you know exactly where they are, Anyway, I think it was all right. Check it out.